Perez. Wilco makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland preview show. Kris is here. I don't think he's ever done a preview show. I don't know what has happened that he's I don't know even how he got here. Why are you here?
Word. I'm just here. I've just done another podcast. I was available. You asked. I said I'd do it. That's kind of how it works. So here I am. Hi. It's me again.
Oh well, it's not. I feel bad hosting a show that you're on.
Oh no,
that's a little bit like Ayrton Senna being driven around by the milkman, isn't it? That's not something's not right in the world.
I'm all about it. The less hosting is a tough job, as you well know. So. And I'm very much looking forward to not watching the game that you can't watch on the TV tonight. So that's going to be fun. In fact, I'm actually going to watch Spurs. So I feel a bit dirty, but
you're really not watching it.
You know me, I don't do streams. I do not do streams.
Me.
So I shall listen to it whilst watching, hopefully, Sheffield United bounce.
You didn't used to do being skinny, and now look at you.
I'm definitely not skinny. I'm really not. Trust me.
Don't make me truffle shuffle in front of you, because I will if I'm forced to.
There are lumps and bumps in places that the listeners don't need to know about. Trust me on that one.
Nice. Right. So I'm watching the game, and if you wanted to, I could share it with you, but you're not interested, so we'll move on.
Yeah. No streams.
Ridiculous. So Nick is straight in there. Our very own Mr. Wilson says Carpenter out. And then it says Banfield Macca, so he's obviously got an agenda already. Mr. Mercury, hello. Jim Eves, afternoon. Pete Colson is there. Can't say that word because they've demonetised if you swear within the first few minutes. Fred Turbin, Danny, have you ever had a poop which has taken an entire half of football asking for a friend who needs a dump? Well, from start to beginning, it usually takes me about 20, 25 minutes, but that's because I'm old and withered. But... No. Loki, what's happening? Hello there, Mr. Wilson. We're waiting for Kris to blow dry his hair. No, doesn't do that. Hello, Pete, again. Alonso is there. I haven't seen you in a while. Loki, Kris is committing. He's committing. Just you lot all chatting amongst yourselves. Paul Nell, not Neil, is there. BX has turned up. Hello, BX. Tom Andrew, afternoon. Very own Mr. Selby. Evening, Governor. And Colo's Used Cars is the sponsor of this podcast. And if you do need a knackered 1982 Ford Fiesta with no MOT and it won't see you to the end of the drive, Colo's Used Cars is the car company for you. Not scripted. Anyway, let's. I've got a list of whole things to talk about. Right, so it's Arsenal v Everton, the return. Kris, what country? Pick a country you'd most like to be in right now.
Malta.
My dad's had to give up. He's travelling around the world since he nearly died. Well, he did die, but then they brought him back. He's cancelled all his holidays. And Malta is on TSN3 Malta. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Anyone in Malta's watching?
What's the weather like? More importantly,
it's going to snow next week here. How is that even a thing?
Did you see the pictures of? I follow my Spanish team is Mallorca. And they had snow in Mallorca, and it just looks batshit crazy.
I did. I showed my mum. I said, "Mum, you know that tropical island of Majorca? It's their knee-high in bloody snow." And they were going to get another 18 inches, weren't they?
said the vicar to the schoolboy. It's the second time I've said that tonight on two different podcasts. But I mean, I'm all about the spring and the sun being out again, but I do have the heating on. My electric bill is in the 500s now, and I don't care. So fuck the world. Let's go.
Go bankrupt.
I dropped an F-bomb. Sorry, but you can
go bankrupt and get rid of all your debt for about 600 quid. And then
I've worked bloody hard to get to some sort of credit. I don't want to do that, thank you. But I definitely haven't got 6 or 7 credit cards. But none of them will pay for me to watch a live proper TV channel that I don't have to stream. So that was not very worth it, was it?
Sad times. Right, injuries. Jesus is back. What do you think? What do you make of all the people going? He's going to be back any day, and as soon as he's fit, he'll be playing back up front, 90 minutes.
No.
What are those people on?
I think people are getting a bit ahead of themselves. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back on the bench in the next fortnight or so. I don't. Some people are saying he'll be on the bench tonight. Yes. No. But yeah, I think they will try and get him back, as soon as they can. I think, when is it we play Sporting? Is that 3 weeks, 4 weeks time?
Oh, don't ask me to have another bloody window open.
Oh, I'll do it. I'm pretty sure Norton game will be the first time we see him.
We'll lose you. 9th of March.
Okay. 9th of March. Okay, so that's next week.
Yeah, and the home one is 16th of March.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the bench for the home game with Sporting. But no, this idea that he's just going to be parachuted in and straight into the team is... look how long it's taken Smith Rowe to get even playing for the under-21s. Like, no, I don't...
Yeah, true.
And don't rush him. Don't rush him. Like, we need him. If there's anybody... If there's any example of what not to do when a footballer's coming back from injury, just Google Presnel Kimpembe. And you come back too soon, you're very susceptible to getting another very serious injury, is what happened to him the other day. So, I know we want to win the title. Of course we do. And we want to try and, have a wonderful day in the sun, but don't rush him.
Talking of rushing, are you ready for this? It's the lineups. Do you want to read out the boys and girls who's playing in what position?
Well, I haven't seen it as a formation, but I assume this will be the traditional 4-2-3-1 with Ramsdale in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko as the usual back four, Xhaka and Jorginho as the holding two, with Saka and Martinelli flanking, Odegaard as the 10, and Trossard as the quote-unquote false 9, whatever the fuck that means. And a nice return for Smith Rowe to the bench. Thomas Partey also not risked from the start. He's on the bench. Rob Holding and his wonderful new hair, and Oleksandr also there alongside Tomiyasu, Tierney, Turner, Vieira, and Nketiah. So yeah,
what do you make of that then? I liked the way overlapping and underlapping for Martinelli and Trossard down that left for the last game. I thought that worked really quite well, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think although Trossard is technically the false 9, what I like about this system is it's very interchangeable. At any one time, you can see Saka as the 9, or Martinelli as the 9, or Odegaard pushed on as the furthest man forward. So it's very fluid. I like the fact that they're not risking Partey in any way, shape, or form. I think, put it this way, that's the side that should be beating Everton. With all lack of respect due to Everton because they're shite. But no, I mean, the downside is we're at that stage of the season now where any team fighting for their lives, Everton included, are we know what we're going to get. Where they're going to come to the Emirates tonight. They're going to have a low block. Is the Rat playing for them up front, Mr. Malpe? I presume he will.
I will go and have a look at my own Twitter and see. I've still got that up on the screen. We don't need to see that. People need to see you, not that. Here we go. Oliver Holt has got their lineup. Pickford, Trossard, Keane, McNeil, Onana, Decore, Iwobi, Malenko, Malpe, Coleman, and Guai.
Idrissa Gueye, yeah. So that says to me that's 2 lines of 4 stretching to a 5-man midfield with Malpe up front. So I would put money on Malpe scoring because that's what he does against us. Unfortunately, he hasn't scored for about 7 years, so he'll probably get one tonight. I expect Everton to score, which is a bold statement, but I think they will score a goal, which is why we need to start on the front foot and we need to get in front in this game, I think, because the last thing you want is for the game to go like it did at Goodison, or for them to score first and then just pack the penalty area with even more players. Realistically, if we're going to win this title, we have to be winning these games, and obviously Bournemouth to come at the week. It is Bournemouth, isn't it, the weekend? So yeah, we need to get, and everyone has been saying for weeks, we've got a game in hand. Well, that game in hand is only good if you win it. So, I would expect us to start on the front foot tonight. But just don't be surprised if it's 0-0 after 60, 65 minutes, because whilst I hope I'm wrong on that, I wouldn't be massively surprised. So let's hope that it's not the case.
I agree. Rancing Pumpkin, afternoon. The Irish Beast, hello. Who else haven't I said hello to? Pete Geary, oi Pete. Tunji, afternoon. Wally, who was on the previous show, the previous show. Nice to see Si's there. Everybody, hashtag Si out. Steph's already beaten us to it. Because otherwise he'll start doing Arteta out, and then that could end in tears. Here we go. Pete Colson with a question. Do you feel like we are now playing against 12 men every game, VAR being that 12th man?
Controversial opinion, no, I don't. I do get it. I know people are cheesed off with the VAR and everything. It's I know people don't want to admit this, but it's not just us, guys. All right, we have to stop this tinfoil hat wearing stuff. But all the referees and VAR officials are incompetent, in my humble opinion. And we will continue to get crap decisions given against us. We'll also get a couple that might go in our favour. We've got to take the rough with the smooth, but yeah, there's no conspiracy as such. And this is the biggest cliche in the world, but if you go out there and you get 2 or 3 goals up, it doesn't matter what VAR does. You just got to win games. So yeah, for me, I think we're all looking at it a little bit too deep, as it were. And it's just a shame that holding hands for the goalkeeper denies what would have been a brilliant goal at the weekend, because that was a cracking hit. But and of course, if you're Bukayo Saka, you don't get fouls. So that's just the law. That's just how it is, you just have to accept it.
Yes, indeed. We've got some latecomers. Ronry is there. Deek is there. Will be joining me for the post game. Chirobi is there, also there. Drago is there. If you die, you die. No other. Matt is there. Loki's brother. Hello to all of you. Who else is in there? No other new names. You lot are just all chatting amongst yourselves. I pressed the wrong button. Meant to do this one. If we go to Everton's run of games now, then why has it done that? Maybe I'm on the wrong one. Oh, it was wrong screen. Everton's last run of away games in the Premier League. Lost 2-0 to Liverpool, lost 2-0 to West Ham, 1-1 Man City, lost 3-0 to the mighty Bournemouth, 0-0 Fulham, lost 1-0 to Newcastle, 2-0 to Spurs, beat Southampton 2-1, and then they drew, lost, we beat them 5-1, then they drew, and then they beat Leicester 2-1, and then they lost the next, bloody hell, they lost the next 10 out of 11 games. So
you can kind of only take the results under Dyche into consideration, though, can't you, realistically? I mean...
Well, I've got some stats on him as well. It's, where is it? It was on this one here. Against Sean Dyche against Arsenal, played 16, won 2, drawn 3, lost 11. But games against Arteta, 1, 2, drawn 3, lost 1.
I don't think it's... Go on. I genuinely don't think it's much about, it's not about, has Dyche got people's numbers, etc. and so on. I think it's just more about that type of manager, the Allardyces, the Dyches, there's another one I can't think. Pulis, yeah.
Dave Bessett, if you go back far enough, all play shit football.
Who was the guy? Was it
Harry Bassett? Not Dave Bessett. Dave Bessett's the goalie. Harry Bassett.
Remember Owen Coyle as well? He was at Wigan. Just managers like that. What you're going to get. And you know that they are going to come and try and frustrate us. But this is always my argument, we are, it's not arrogant to say that we're better than these teams, because we are. But that's why an early goal is so important. If you can start, as we have done most of the season, on the front foot and fast, you force the opposition they have to come out. So we know what we're going to get from them. We just have to make sure that we go at them early and put them on the back foot, because if on our day, if we turn up, it doesn't matter what Everton do. It doesn't matter what Dyche's tactics are. We win the game, but we have to turn up. That's the key thing. So, yeah, new manager bounce and all that. When they went to Liverpool, who, let's not forget, Liverpool were a shit show, and they got absolutely outplayed for 90 minutes. So,
True.
On the form book, we should be winning this game. And again, if we want to win this title or even be in this title race, we have to win. That's it. End of story.
Drago's coming up with some counter points. Denied a penalty against Southampton. Denied 2 penalties against Newcastle. Brentford offside goal. Denied a penalty against Leicester. It's not a conspiracy. Well, the experts have been over this, and they went and did the table of who's lost the most points this season. It's Man City who've been denied the most points this season through dodgy refereeing. We were second, but I think it's only a handful of points, 2 or 3 points. So there you go. People, put your predictions in the chat. So far, I've got Deke, Wally, Boy 10, and Sai. I've got all your predictions in there. I'll go through them all towards the end of the show. We're only going to be here for half an hour. As usual, let's look back at the last few games. 3 games at home against Everton in the Premier League. 3 games ago, it was Arsenal 3, Everton 2. Carlo Ancelotti was their manager. They scored first with Calvert-Lewin, then Eddie Nketiah for us. Then Aubameyang for us, and then Richarlison 45. So I take it that's just at the end of the first half. And then Aubameyang come out second half, got the winner, and then it stayed like that. I don't remember that game. The one after that was the 23rd of April 2021. Ancelotti still manager, and they went there. Bernd Leno own goal. Do you remember that, Chris? Because I don't.
I do vaguely have recollections of that game. We got shithoused in that game as well, if I remember rightly. There was a lot of fouling and breaking up of play and usual crap. But yeah, I do vaguely recall that game, actually, yeah.
I was going to ask, whatever happened to Gylfi Sigurdsson?
Let's not ask.
I was thinking it might be something like that. Yeah, he's not played since 22.
Nonce.
He's not played since the end of the 2021 season.
Well, I think he's played a bit too much with the wrong people. Is actually what's happened there. But yes, one suspects allegedly.
Easily done.
Yeah, easily. You know how it is. You just get a bit bored. You fancy children. I don't think he'll be playing football anytime soon. If allegedly what has been accused is actually correct.
Dear, oh dear. And the most recent game was Arsenal 5, Everton 1 on the 22nd of May 2022. Which was last year. The game, Martinelli penalty. Don't remember.
It was the last game of the season, wasn't it?
All right.
Last game of the season. Yeah, because I remember it was just like a cakewalk in the sun. So yeah.
Yes, Martinelli penalty, and then Nketiah 31, then Johnny van der Beek.
Can't remember him
now. Injured, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And then Cedric Suarez scored, Thunder Bastard, I think it was, and Gabriel, and then Odegaard. And yeah, that's Pepe came on and played. How was Pepe doing in France?
He's injured, unfortunately. Yeah, he's likely to be out for the season due to I think it's a severe knee injury. I don't think it was cruciate, but it was certainly not a pleasant injury that he sustained. So unfortunately for him, it's probably curtains for the season before he comes back to us in the summer and gets sold.
Oh, we've got a new name here. Englishman in Canada. Maybe you've changed your name. I haven't seen you before. Afternoon, how you doing? I'm adding all your scores to my... God, loads of you are getting into it. Oh, Mark Mertz. And in relation to Mike Hertz, I think all people whose surnames end with a Z are all related. I'm positive that's how it works. And who else is someone? I just saw another now. Oh, Patrick Carlson is there. They have said sorry, so it's okay. Good. Just getting Pumpkin's score. And right, there you go. That's a load of scores I've picked up. 14 predictions so far. I've never seen the likes. That's wonderful. How do you think the game's going to go then? You obviously said, no, you haven't obviously said. You have said they are obviously going to come here and they're going to try and stick it at them because we don't know we don't like it at them.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. Like, I think they could surprise us all and rock up and play attacking, free-flowing. No, who am I kidding? No, we know what's going to happen. We know that Malpai and Gabriel and Saliba need to be on their game tonight because we know that he's going to be rolling around like a dipshit, and we know that there's going to be all sorts of shithousery going on and time wasting. Get ready for another masterclass and time wasting tonight. Pickford's up there with the best of them. Again, I can't say it enough. Early goal. If you come out in the first 10 minutes and you put in an early goal or two, ideally, that's it. Basically, that's game over. But this is the Premier League. Whether you think it's the best league in the world or not, it's certainly one of them. And it is one of those leagues where everyone can beat everyone else. And let's not forget the the pressure is on us tonight massively. Like, this is our game in hand. This is the game everyone is expecting us to win, which comes with its own pressure. But it's a free hit for Everton. Okay, obviously, they're fighting for their lives, but I don't think on paper they would look at this game going, right, well, we can go there and get a result. I think they'll be looking at this as a free win, or free shot, if you will. If they can get a win out of it, then more bonus to them. But they won't be looking at this in the fixture list of the next 5 or 6 thinking, yeah, we can go there and win. I think they'll be looking at it as if we can take a point, great. If we can eke out a close late winner or whatever, then even better. But they're not going to come and open up. Let's be honest, it's suicidal to come to the Emirates and open up against us, whether you're basically anyone but Man City. If you come to the Emirates and you play open, you're going to get whacked. So I would be very, very shocked to see them attack us. And I think we're going to have to be patient. But I also think we need to turn them round. We need to make sure that they're going back towards their own goal, because that pressure will tell eventually, as long as we stay composed and we don't fall into any traps of being wound up by the usual suspects.
We've seen in recent games that, especially against Leicester and Villa, have pot shots, because you never know if they're going to go in or not. Do you think that's something Arteta has told them to do, or to work on it? Because if they're not going to let us get through them with they're playing 9 at the back, sometimes that's the only option, isn't it?
Yeah, I think with long range shooting, it's all about the timing and working good areas. Like, there's no point just twatting it from 30 yards for no reason. I mean, you've got to, if you work the space, then you've got the opportunity to shoot. I think the thing that I like about that front three with Odegaard in behind is all 3 of those have got goals in them. Trossard, we know, has a goal in him. Martinelli, that goal at the weekend will do his form the world of good.
Back goals now, isn't it?
Second.
Hasn't he got goals in back-to-back games?
Yeah, I think he has, hasn't he? Yeah, I think he has off the bench as well. Yeah, Martin. Yeah, the Villa game, of course. So, he'll hopefully playing his way back into form. And weirdly, the fact that a lot of the attention will probably be on Saka and trying to mark him out of the game might free up the other 2.
You say mark? Do you mean kick?
Well, yeah, kicked up in the air repeatedly. And then the bench, obviously, if you do need to change it, you've got Nketiah there, which is good. Smith Rowe being named on the bench again is a good sign for him being available, because we have in recent weeks been naming Kozia Dewberry and others to fill that gap. So it's nice to have 2 proper attacking options and Fabio Vieira if you want a creative option on the bench as well. So yeah, the squad depth is there. But yeah, like I say, we know what we're going to get. It's our job to go out there. It's our home game. It's our game in hand. We need to go out there with the right attitude and from the off put them to the sword. The other thing as well is, obviously, we take a 1-0 right now as we sit here 45 minutes from kickoff. We'd happily take a 1-0. We all would. But there's potentially goal difference in this as well. Man City are well ahead of us. I think they're 10 goals clear. If you can get an early goal and you can put Everton to the sword, this is the sort of game that you could rack up for 3 or 4 goals if you get the right performance. And although I don't expect it to come down to goal difference, you just never know. So yeah, if you can get in front, put them to the sword and put them down.
Yes, so unlike, you say you take a 1-0 now. This isn't Serie A, so we're going to have to go and play the game, unfortunately. Yeah, but just 3 points would be, however we get the 3 points, that's all we care about. But it's going to be, like you're saying, it's going to be 80% possession our way. Then they can maybe do a Leicester and have 1/2 of a shot on goal. They're just going to come there. They're looking to get a point and get an all. If they can win a few home games and then they can get a few draws away from home, it'll save them from relegation. But I don't think they've got much to worry about, because there is so many other rubbish teams in the league that are going to go down. Southampton, Leeds and Bournemouth, there you go. They're the ones that are probably going to go down.
Yeah, so, be a shame to lose Southampton. That's my late granddad's team, and they're a staple of Premier League football. Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth go. Who's the other team down there?
Leeds are terrible.
Leeds, yeah. Leeds, I go back and forth on Leeds because I like the way they play football, but I can't stand their unbelievably deluded fan base. So yeah, they can go if but then it is one of the quote unquote big names, isn't it? I don't know who I'd actually like to see go. I can't even remember who's in the Premier League. But yeah, I think Bournemouth. Forest Forest,
they'll sneak it.
I don't know. I think they are on a bit of a slide. I mean, Everton going would be funny. It would be funny
because it'd be hilarious.
Am I right in saying they are the only club along with us that's always been in the top flight throughout there?
We've not always been in the top flight. We got relegated once.
Have we?
Over the season, a couple of years later, we got promoted rather than Spurs.
Oh, is it since the? Oh, okay. I vaguely remember there being a record about
we have got
since the war, maybe, or something.
I think we've got the most seasons in the top flight, but they've got the most consecutive seasons in the top flight.
Right. Okay.
So we've only spent 3 or 4 years in Division 2 back in yonder year, and they've spent more years in League 2. But I think they're one of the original teams that formed Division 1 back in 1888.
Yeah,
that was the season.
So I mean, them going would be funny, and just sort of for his sheer hilarity of Usmanov, of course, and what could have been with us. So I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them go. But yeah, if I had to handpick the 3 to go, I'd probably take Everton, Bournemouth, and Leeds. But I feel like Forest are slipping, and I worry about Palace because we all love Patrick, of course we do. They cannot score goals at all.
They were winning last weekend, and Vieira was shouting at 2 of them, "Get the ball, take it in the corners, keep back." And they decided to go and run, attempt a goal, and they lost the ball, and then they conceded a goal.
Exactly.
So imagine being in the room with Vieira after he told you not to do that, and they'd done it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it must have been a tricolor as far as the eye can see.
And it's weird because they've got so many good young players. If they just had an actual goal scorer, like someone, if they'd have had Balogun on loan, for example, now, I mean, they'd probably be comfortably, top 10. But they're falling like a stone, and they just don't score goals. But yeah, I think all the rest of the clubs, Leicester are fine, Wolves are fine, West Ham will have enough to stay up. So yeah, sadly for our good friend Ross, I think Southampton are probably doomed, and I feel like Bournemouth just don't have the quality in depth. So, but yeah, let's hope that we can keep Everton back where they deserve to be, which is in that bottom 3, and send them on their merry way.
Yes, indeed. Right, going to go through some of the predictions that you scumbags have put in here. Deke is going 2-0. Arsenal to score first with Saka. Wally has put 3-0 Saka, Boy 10, 4-0, Agent Iwobi to give us a goal and Eddie in hat-trick. Sire's gone 2-0 Everton, Arteta out. Englishman in Canada 1-0, Stefan's 5-0, BX 2-0 the Arsenal, Drago 1-0 the Arsenal, Mark Mertz, not Hertz, 2-0 the Arsenal, Paul Nell 2-1. I need to put you on a timeout there, Pete. Sorry about that. Peter's gone 2-0 Martinelli and Trossard. The Irish Beast 2-0. Ronry has given it 4-0. Rancid Pumpkin, 91st minute winning by Saka 1-0. Chirobi has put 3-0 the Arsenal with Dice shaving off his moustache from the resulting shame. Pete Geary 3-1 Arsenal. Brady's Banana 4-0. Where the feck can I watch it? IPTV, 70 quid a year. Loki is gone 4-1. Near bother. Graham, he's already done one, haven't you? I don't know. Yeah, you already did one. You can't do 2, Jerobi, fuck's sake. And Paul Nell has put 4-0. And I think there's been a couple of others here. Matt the Gunner has put 2-0 the Arsenal. Nerdran has put 5-1, which is exactly the score I'm going for. Chris, what are you going for?
2-1
to Arsenal.
Yeah. I just have a horrible feeling that it might be quite a long night before we eventually break them down. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we smash them 7-0, but I think it will be a 2-1. Like I say, I just have this horrible feeling that Everton will score. I hope it's not first. I don't mind them.
It will be shutters up, buses out.
Yeah, exactly. But then equally, I don't want them to get like a goal in the last, like us being 2-0 up and thinking we're cruising, and then they get one with 10 minutes to go and we're all crapping ourselves for 10 minutes. So yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but I have a 2-1 feeling.
Okie dokie. What else was I going to say? Oh, Rudy's put 2-0 the Arsenal. Lovely. I think that's it. Any idea when there's going to be? Are we doing a podcast this week? We're not, are we? Because you're busy.
Well, I was yesterday. I didn't know whether you'd managed to find somebody to record one, but no, we'll do one next week, I think, in the usual time, because we've got Bournemouth. Is it Saturday, 3:00? I think it's a 3:00.
It is sometime.
It is. I can confirm a fixture of football will be taking place
3:00 on the 4th, and the 4th
there you go.
is a Tuesday.
And could you just have a look? The Tuesday?
No, wrong month. Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah. Can you just, in terms of the next podcast, I've just had a horrible thought. Let me just check it.
Oh,
No, Tuesday's fine, because I'm doing the PSG game, so that's on Wednesday. So we're all good. So it will probably be next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. What I did there.
David Chumley says, "What do you think? Why do you think Everton will score?" Jammy. They got some decent players. Iwobi from the halfway line, something like that. I mean, Calvert-Lewin is decent if he comes on.
Calvert-Lewin's crap and he's injured, but no, I don't know what it is. I just have a feeling that it won't be straightforward. These midweek games, not on telly and all that. I don't know. I just have a feeling. I hope I'm wrong. Like I say, I'm trying to will it out of existence, but yeah.
Jolly good. Cherobi apparently was replying to somebody, not having a second cheeky prediction. Right, people, there you go. 32 minutes and 27 seconds. Nope, 31 minutes. That's it. We are done. We'll be back at about 9. The game should finish at 9:45. So 9:50, 9:55. Me and Deke, half an hour after the game, celebrating a magnificent, record-breaking 10-0 Premier League win, hopefully, because they deserve it. They really do. Kris, if people are listening and not watching and they're driving the bus, they're having a poo, they're walking the dog, they're jet skiing or even paragliding, where can I find you on the wonderful world of Twitter?
As long as they're not having a poo whilst gliding, because that would be an awful mess everywhere.
If I was gliding, I would be pooing.
Yeah, of course you would. It's you. At KC_runs with a Z on socials. They include Twitter and Instagram if you like pretty pictures of the outside world. So yes, and give me a follow or don't. It's up to you. Don't mind.
I'm losing followers at an alarming rate, down to 9,800 now. It's almost like I've said something to annoy them.
Who'd have thought, hey? Who would have thought?
Very rarely even bother tweeting anymore.
And I might be doing even more podcasts in a month's time because I'm in the last month of my contract at work. So if anybody's got any work or any jobs they want to offer me at the end of the month, then feel free.
Oh, well. Sad times. Right, that's it. We're going to go now. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Oh, one more last thing I meant to put up. A touch of class there from the Arsenal. They got a brass plaque on one of the commentary booths with a picture of John Motson, broadcast in 1945 to 2023. Same age as my mum. And no, my mum's 44. So yeah, 77 years old. Died way too soon. There's a really good documentary about him on the BBC at the moment. He's in it, so it's obviously done before he passed away because otherwise he wouldn't be in it. And it's really nice. It's an hour. And just everyone talking about him, his career as a football commentator and a sports commentator. Lovely, lovely man. And he is and always will be the voice of football for me. Are you, Kris?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, him and Barry Davies are the two. Brian Moore as well, late Brian Moore. There's a lot of commentators out there that try and replicate or never get close. There's also some very good young commentators, it has to be said. But yeah, I mean, Mossy he's iconic, isn't he? Absolutely iconic. And sadly, I think we'll probably be, we'll see more and more of the legends that you and I grew up with, Danny, passing on. It's getting to that era. But yeah, just one of the very best of all time. And I never met the guy, but from what I can gather and from the tributes that have been paid, always had time to help others and paved the way for many others. And I think it's why we notice when there's crap commentary now, because he always did it with such gusto and such enthusiasm that nowadays when you do see some commentators that you think maybe are phoning it in a little bit, it's a pleasure when you hear it. I was talking to Angus Turode about this the other day, who's a friend of mine who commentates on French football, and I've been saying to him, he's so enthusiastic about every game he watches. It's like it's his last game, and he was saying to me that someone like Motti was an inspiration to him and how he commentates on the game. So, he's gone, but his legacy definitely lives on, and you'll be hard pressed to find somebody as such a good wordsmith as he.
True indeed. Karen Carney, you have a lot to answer for. And the rest of you shower shite that the BBC employ. Right, that's it, Chris. Thank you very much for your time, and we will no doubt see you next week when you organise a pod.
I shall indeed organise a pod. See you next Tuesday, and thank you for having me.
Goodbye.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid. Get down, dog. Splendid business.
He nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I was just eating a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at Ibs, so when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately, and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your uncle.
Never in doubt.